Transform your space with Ada Grace Cleaning Service. At Ada Grace, we believe a clean home is a happy home. Our professional team offers tailored cleaning solutions that fit your needs and schedule. Whether it's a one-time deep clean or regular upkeep, we use eco-friendly products to ensure a safe and sparkling environment for you and your family. Why choose us? We have a reliable and trustworthy staff, customized cleaning plans, eco-friendly products, satisfaction guaranteed. Let us take care of the mess so you can enjoy your free time. Contact Tanya and Elaine today for a free quote at 601-502-5376 and experience the Ada Grace difference. And oh yeah, tell them Sonya sent you.
She say sports. She say sports. She say sports. She say sports.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Sonya and welcome back to She Say Sports. Please welcome two-time WNBA champion, author of You Will Win If You Don't Quit, and a legend from the SIP, Yolanda Moore. What's up, Yolanda?
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's good to see you again, too.
I'm here. Thank you for joining us today. So, Coach, I had to bring you on because you announced some great news the other day. You have been accepted into the NBA Coach Development Program. Congratulations again.
Thank you. I appreciate that. This is actually my second time being in the program, but it's been completely revamped. Yeah, so I was in it 5 years ago. It's been completely revamped. They've changed the name of the program. They've changed a lot of things. So I'm really excited to be back.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, that says a lot about how they feel about you, second time. So that's great. So, Coach, when you received the call or message that you were being accepted into the NBA Coaches Development Program and will be attending the NBA G League Winter Showcase this week, what were your thoughts? How did you feel about that?
Well, honestly, I was surprised because I didn't know if they was going to let me in the second time. I know, I didn't know because I didn't know anybody who had participated more than once. So I just kind of, what they say, shoot your shot. I knew I've been out of coaching since 2019, and I knew that I wanted to get back in it. And I figured this would be the best way for me to reintegrate back into that field of coaching and just being back around the game and things like that. So I was pleasantly surprised. Again, I didn't know if they were going to allow me to participate a second time. So I was very grateful. Let me just say that I was very grateful. Yes.
That is so cool. So, Coach, I know you were surprised that they, invited you back, but why are you interested in the NBA Coaches Development Program specifically, and how does it align with your career goals?
The coaches program, it provides a lot of the foundational skills that you need to actually be an effective coach. And it doesn't matter at what level. And so learning about the technology, now the focus is on getting helping you to transition into a career at the pro level, obviously with coaching or whatever. If you want to pursue an office career or anything, it provides you with the opportunity to network, because building relationships and people knowing you, that's critical, especially at the pro level. They tend to work with people that they know, but that's with any industry. And it's kind of hard to break into that. Even for us athletes, it's with me having been out of playing for so long and then took a 5-year break from coaching. It was important for me to go through this program because not only does it provide kind of like it provides a framework for you to learn how to coach effectively, learn the technology, how to put together, how to identify talent at that level, how to develop player development strategies and things like that. But it provides a support system for you. So I don't have to try to get back into this game alone. We have mentors, They create spaces for us to actually network and to learn the game, learn how to coach at that level, learn what it takes to really learn what it takes to put together a scouting report, learning how to identify talent and work with GMs and build teams at that level. And so it was the support system that I felt like I needed, not just as a coach, but as just developing my leadership skills. I mean, because you're really just kind of facilitating personalities and managing personalities and things like that. But it was very important for me to go through this program again because of just the support and the opportunities to network and actually develop my skills as a coach, and then being put in situations to actually, showcase what I can do as a coach.
Awesome. You kind of answered my next question, so I'm gonna move on. You talked about the leadership skills, but I will ask you this: how do you think this program will refine your approach to coaching?
It'll refine my approach to coaching because, and that it will help me to see it from a business perspective.
Gotcha.
That's not just a player / coach. Just understand that it's about the game, but it's not just about the game. Like every piece of the puzzle matters, from the GM to operations to equipment to facilities to whoever's handling travel, whoever is, working with community involvement. Like there's so many different pieces that go into creating a great team. We see the players playing, right? But we don't understand that they have other responsibilities that they're required to meet as a part of being a part of the organization that, could impact their ability to, if they don't have the right support around them and organized and all that stuff. If things aren't aligned or, set up the right way, then it could affect the product that you see on the floor. So it'll require my skills as a coach in that I understand the business side of coaching more than I did when I coached at the college level, if that makes sense. I went around the block to go across the street.
No, you're fine. I love the fact that you made that differentiation. You understood when you first started coaching, you saw it as a player, but now you're coming back in and you're looking at it from a business side. I like that. That's growth. That's growth. What is your experience working with high performance coaching teams and or players, and how do you plan to bring that experience to the program for the second time?
Well, when I've been in corporate America for the last 5 years. So I worked with Amazon doing leadership development. I worked at Nike. I was in product development and also transitioned into change management and program management, working with career and talent development. So I've been working with, I never stopped coaching. Even when I left coaching, I just started coaching in corporate. So working with high performers has always been, I guess, just naturally, I've always been in that space, just having been a high performing athlete, being on championship teams from the time I was in high school, not even knowing that was being a high performer at that time, but just always having participated in sports at a very elite level. So for me, the experience that I bring is I see it from very different perspectives. I understand from an executive level, I can talk to a GM and understand that perspective, and then communicate that perspective to a coach, and then communicate that perspective to a player, and then communicate the perspective of a player to both the GM and the coach, because I've worked with presidents, I've worked with VPs, I've worked with, mid-level managers and directors, and seeing the dynamic between the two and understanding. The biggest thing is that I believe is that I understand how to manage conflict when there's a difference of opinion, that it doesn't have to be bad. Like, conflict is necessary, but learning a way to have productive conflict, because it doesn't matter what kind of team you're a part of. Right. All the time. That's true. It's just a given. but understanding how to have productive conflict and also learning how to take myself out of it. Like, I think that's the biggest growth that I've seen in terms of me being a coach and coaching high performer is taking myself out of it and making sure that we come to a resolution that is beneficial for both parties. Not so much about, it's not about a win, but it's about how do we move forward, and that makes sense.
It makes total sense, and you being real well-rounded also helps with that as well, because like you said, you can talk to a GM or a president, but then you can go and take, you have balance, and that's a good thing. So that is key to what you're doing. Absolutely. So how would you leverage the network and resources available through the NBA Coaches Development Program to advance your coaching career?
Just use it to build relationships, and not transactional relationships, but real authentic relationships, whether it leads to a coaching job or not, but understanding too that I'm going into the situation thinking or asking the question, like, how can I add value? How can I make the program better? How can I assist the people? Because I'm not in it by myself. Obviously, there are other former players. Like, how can I be of service to my fellow cohort members when, like this week, when we go to Orlando, there are only a handful of us and we've been assigned to teams. And so it's like for this week, we are a part of that G League team. So whatever they need me to do, from operations to scouting to play, like whatever I can do to help them be successful on the court. So my thought process is, in terms of, you ask, how can I leverage the support? First, going in and adding value. That's first of all, and not going in it with what can I get out of it mentality. Right. If I'm honest, that was my thought process initially the first time around. Okay, I'm going in this to get it. I didn't know the value that I can bring to the program. So I'm thinking, okay, they're just going to teach me everything, and I have nothing to give. But no, I do have a lot to give. So leveraging it to build authentic relationships and to just grow as a person. So, Coach, you mentioned that some of the other players, are there some other players going to be on there that was on your team when you were playing for Houston, or some of the ladies? Huh? You said what? I'm old now. So there are, I mean, one of my, she wasn't a teammate in Houston, but we played in like the equivalent of the G League, but it was back like 20 years ago. It was called the NWBL. And Cheryl Ford, she played for the Detroit Shock, was Rookie of the Year, won championships with Detroit. So she's going to be there. I think she and Tanya Edwards, who used to coach at Alcorn State, played at Tennessee. She's in this group. I think we are the only, we're the only ones going. We're the only female participants that are going to be in Orlando. Like I said, everybody's not a part of it, but there are some other like former NBA players and G League players, but a lot of players, I don't know, they're younger than me.
It's a lot. No, it's funny that, because it's so weird. I sang for the Mavericks for 15 seasons, and when I started, I was in my 30s, and I'm like, it's so weird. I'm older than all of them now, all of the players. So I feel you. It's it's a different. I mean, it's just weird, but I get what you're saying. So
let me not say old. I'm gonna say seasoned.
You're seasoned. Yeah, you're not. That's why I was like, you're not old. Trust me, you're not.
But I definitely don't. Child, I'm very.
We getting better and better. Trust me. Yeah. Coach, what specific skills or experiences are you hoping to gain from participating in the NBA development program? How do you stay current with new coaching techniques, trends, and innovations in basketball?
Being a part of this program will help me do that. Just learning the technology. The game they rely heavily on analytics. That's that's a big part of it, because a lot of the owners and GMs, they have business backgrounds, they understand numbers. And so you've got to be able to speak be able to speak that language, but also without losing the personal touch. Like sometimes we rely too much on data and numbers and things like that. But the good thing about being a former player, you still can relate to players because you played. It doesn't matter, what generation or genre or whatever. Players respect players. And so for me, it's really learning the technology and getting to know the new game of basketball. It's very different from when I played all those years ago. And it's even changed since 2019 when I last coached. Understanding the mentality of players today, it's a very personality driven, I believe. The game is very personality driven now. I don't think all the time the best players get shine. I think it's whoever is most popular a lot of times. So just being able to learn how to navigate that space without, I'm gonna be me and I'm gonna be honest.
And that's what I love about you. You're very honest. Please tell the truth.
But there's a way, to communicate things to this new generation of players. So being able to understand that and relate to them, but still being honest and giving them quality feedback so that the players who I will be, coming in contact with will be able to grow and develop. But the main thing is learning the terminology, learning the language, because every industry, every level has a language. And so being able to learn and understand that language so that I can communicate not just with players, but with other coaches as I'm navigating this new part of my career.
That's good. So, I'm gonna take a little rabbit hole tour right now. Because what you just said about new basketball, how it was versus 20 years ago when you were in the league. What are your thoughts on the Caitlin Clarks and the Reese, Angel Reese, and this new crop of WNBA players versus when you first came in? I know it's different because of the the NIL deals. Number one, they were already getting money while in school, but and the popularity. So what are your thoughts on them in a nutshell? What have they brought to the NBA?
I mean, first of all, I love all of these young players.
Yes.
Like I'm so excited about every single one of them because they brought personality to the game. And I don't think it's fair to compare, different eras just because they were different. They have access to things that weren't even around years ago. Like there was no social media, the internet, we were still down through AOL. I mean, come on. And it's like you can't, it's just I don't think it's fair to kind of compare. And then the game has just changed because of the way that it's played. It was position-based basketball when I played. Like if you were a post player, you had back to the basket moves, you were in the paint. This is what you did. Now, I mean, you have ball up the court, and I'm okay with that. Like I mean, because the game is supposed to evolve. If the game was still the same as it was back 30 years ago, then it would be a problem. And so I'm excited about the league. I do hope that I see a trend where a lot of it is, again, personality driven. I don't know. There are some who you can tell are in the gym who are really focused on developing their game, and they understand that it's basketball that got them to where they are. When you think about players like, and I say Jordan because he set the standard for endorsement deals and building a brand as an athlete and things like that. He understood that had he not been a basketball player, had he not been Michael Jordan on the court, then that Jordan shoe would have no value. Right. So he never lost sight of that, even though there was no social media and all this other kind of stuff. He still did whatever he did. He had his fun but he never lost sight of the game. And that's, I hope, that these players, well, I am so happy that they have the opportunities to create generational wealth by being themselves and through social media and all of those things. Just don't forget about the game. Just
Please
don't
don't
forget.
forget about the game.
Yeah.
I agree. I totally agree. I have my qualms about. I understand that it does have to progress through the years, but I'm a old school basketball girl. I love old school ball, and I know we have, Wanky, Brian Wanky Adams, your boy, he was
Mhm.
fussing on IG last week about 3 pointers and, and how he's just
It's
going to
so
change the whole
unbalanced.
training. Hmm?
Yeah. It's nothing wrong with integrating the 3-point shot into the game, but it's so unbalanced now.
Exactly. And that's what he was upset about. And I totally feel him. I'm like, there's no physicality in the game anymore. It's just let me just throw it up. It's not even fun. And I think that's one of the reasons a lot of people really don't watch basketball anymore, because it's just we just waiting for the ball, we shooting all the way from the other. It's not, it's just, I don't know. I
Yeah,
really miss old ball.
I do too. And you see some players now. It's pretty at the NBA level. It's way unbalanced because
It's more
you have
balanced.
some teams that are good 3-point shooting teams. I think it started with like Steph and Steph Curry, like the Warriors, when they were just on their beginning their championship run, and they were making a lot of threes. But every team isn't built like that. Like every team
Right.
can't just sit out and shoot threes. So you got to know your team, and I just think that players control the game now. And I love Juju Watkins, not because
Oh
she's
yeah.
just a phenomenal player, but her game is so balanced. She
Hmm.
scores, she can get to the rack. She has a mid-range game, and she has a 3-point game, and all of it's deadly.
Yep.
Like all of it is just, she's just a pure hooper. Like it doesn't matter. And I think if we have more, and there are more players like that at the college game, and you see more of that in the women's game in the WNBA, but
That's true.
I just feel like, but I just don't think, I don't know. I can't say I don't think, I don't know that players, the majority of players are really dedicated to developing their skill set. I
Hmm.
don't know that. I can't say they're not. Just outside looking in, some of the products we see on the floor, it don't look like it. It doesn't look like it. But you can't tell them, you can't say anything because they get money. So, and that seems to be the driving
That's the
force
driving
behind
force.
everything. And it's nothing wrong with getting money. Just understand why you're getting it. It's because like people still want to
Okay.
watch quality basketball. Like I
Correct.
want to see a good game. I don't want to be asleep watching the game. Like I should be,
And that's
you know,
you're
like I don't
right.
want to watch the game, then have to look online like who won?
You're
I fell asleep.
absolutely right, because it's not fun anymore, not to me. And I've been a fan since I was 5, and that's a long time. And it's just like, oh God, I mean, I don't know. We'll
Yeah, you
see.
just have to find your teams because all of them, it's not fair to say that all the teams, like all basketball is bad. There are some teams
Well,
that you watch. Like I like watching OKC because they are young. That
mhm.
SGA, that dude is a
They are
monster.
young guns. You're right.
And they play fun. It's like they love the
Mhm.
game. They're having fun playing and trying to play as a team. And then you have other teams you watch. Oh my God, can y'all get the ball off the right side of the floor? You gonna dribble the cover off of it, trying to get to the back. It ain't open. Let somebody else have it. Like,
Right.
So
You're right. So, so, Coach, what is your coaching philosophy, and how do you believe it will contribute to the development of players at an elite level?
my coaching philosophy is empowering players to
Hmm.
be like their best. Like understanding how to putting the right players in the right position, but helping players recognize their greatness.
Hmm.
Like helping players recognize their greatness within themselves. I used to have
Right.
this long out coaching philosophy, when I was coaching college because that's what athletic directors wanted to hear. They
Hmm.
want, they want a whole dissertation on how you gonna do this thing, and you can have an idea, you can have a vision, but until you actually get the players in there and you get a feel for who they are. They get a feel for, like, it could go a whole different way. And so my philosophy is on coaching is you find the best players who are also, high character people. And then you develop their greatness, help them to see it. And then you just put them in the right positions. Like, that's where I am now in terms of coaching philosophy, because we don't control outcomes. You never know how anything is going to turn out. You can have a vision and you can have a strategy, but just be open to the pivot, because especially if you're coaching at the college level, you can have a new team every year.
That's true, especially with these NIL deals and transfer portals. That is correct.
Every year. So it's no different than in the G League. They never know from one day to the next. They can have players called up and players sent down. Like, it's different. In the NBA, WNBA, like, you can have trades. So you have to be open as a coach to the pivot. Like, how you want to coach, but you don't know these different personalities that you're going to have to, learn and interact with.
Right. That's true. That is true. So you just kind of answered that. One last question. What role do you believe the coaching staff plays in creating a positive team culture, both on and off the court?
Oh, they play a huge role. I mean, like, they are, gosh, if you have a coaching staff that's not aligned, and then you bring in a team, players now, we talk about these players and they're making money and doing all this, but they're still kids. They're still 18, 19, 21, some 22. They're still young, older teenagers and young adults.
Yeah,
and so
they pick up it out.
Yeah, they still need that guidance. They still need direction. They still need support. They still need nurturing. They still need discipline. They still need structure, all the things. And if you don't have that as a staff, they see that. They're like kids being at home with their parents. They can see if you're not getting along, even if you never fussed in front of them. They know. Know. So it's no different than when you have a coaching staff that's aligned and not aligned. So you ask what role they play. It's crucial. It's very, very critical that you have the right people on your staff. Even before, I know when I was coaching, my first thing was, okay, how do I get the right people on my staff? And I know it's right, but you look for who can you bring in. Number one, who can you trust? Right. Good character, not who's good at recruiting or who's good at this, because you can teach somebody how to do that. You can't teach a person high integrity, to be a good person. You can't do that. And so it's important that you not only have people who are good at their jobs, but people who are just good character people in general. And who, as a head coach, you want a staff that's going to support you, that is going to, when you're gone, it's not a drop off in anything. It's very seamless. And so, the coaching staff, everything rises and falls. We've heard John Maxwell say it so many times. Everything rises and falls with leadership. So if you don't have the right coach and if that right coach doesn't have the right staff, then the team is like, they're destined for failure. It's just not going to work.
You don't go, you go as far as your leader, and that is correct.
Exactly.
Correct. Coach, thank you so much for joining me today. I know you're so remember, huh?
I said you are so welcome.
Thank you. But I play a game, and it's called What You Know. Questions. This is gonna be fun. I'm gonna ask you a few questions, and you know, I have multiple choice, so it'll be a little easy. But this is a good way for myself and the listeners to get to know you better. All right. What science fiction franchise had its own holiday television special in 1978? Was it Star Wars, Aliens, Spaceballs, or Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
I'm gonna have to say Star Wars.
Correct.
Because I know it's always be around to say it.
Did you ever see A Christmas Story? This is one of my favorite Christmas shows, Christmas movies.
Black and white.
Huh?
Black and white movie about the man trying to buy Christmas for his kids. But no.
It wasn't black and white, but it came out when we were kids. In A Christmas Story, what happens to Ralphie's friend as a result of a triple dog dare from another classmate? Was it he gets his eye put out by a BB gun shot? He gets his tongue stuck to the flagpole? He fell through a frozen pond? Or he gets buried in the snow by a snowmobile?
I never watched the movie, but getting your thumb stuck to a flagpole seems fun. So I'm going to go with that.
You please watch it this year. It is hilarious. It's so funny.
I'll watch it because I've never seen it.
It was actually on last night. In the United States, over 2 billion of these are sent each year at Christmas time. Is it a postcard, a bottle of wine, gift cards, or greeting cards?
Girl, I thought she was gonna say fruitcake. I was ready to say fruitcake.
I hope to God not. Do they still make fruitcakes?
I don't know. It's like the worst Christmas present ever, a fruitcake. But let's see. Probably the cards, the greeting cards.
Greeting cards, that's correct. First of all, I hope they don't still make those. I remember when I was little, if somebody brought, they was like, why did they buy them? It was a horrible gift. It wasn't a gift. What do children typically get in their stockings if they are on the naughty list? Is it lump of gold, lump of mashed potatoes, lump of coal, or a lump of candy?
I think it's the coal, the lump of coal.
That's correct.
Yeah.
The Charity Toys for Tots is run by the reserve force of what branch of the U.S. military? Is it the Marines, Army, Air Force, or Navy?
I think it's the Marines.
Girl, you batting. I mean, you 100 right now. That is correct.
Oh. I wasn't sure, but I'm trying to remember when I've seen the sign. I'm trying to remember like when I've seen the sign toys.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. The first artificial Christmas tree was made in the 19th century using the feathers of what bird? Is it an eagle, goose, bluebird, or redbird?
I don't know.
Just guess.
Let's say a bluebird.
A bluebird? It's a goose.
I was thinking goose in my head.
It was a goose.
Yeah.
In Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, what was Mr. Scrooge's first name? Was it Elvis, Ebenezer, Edward, or Eric?
The second one, Ebenezer.
Ebenezer, that is correct.
I watched that enough.
What Bing Crosby song is the best-selling single ever? Is it Silent Night, Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire, White Christmas, or I'll Be Home for Christmas?
First of all,
I can't believe you said that. You don't know Bing Crosby? You're only a couple of years younger than me.
Let's see. What was the last song?
I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Okay. What are the other ones? Let me just guess. Which one have I heard?
Silent Night, Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire, White Christmas, or I'll Be Home for Christmas?
Is it the first one, Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire?
That was famous by Nat King Cole.
I know who that is.
Bing Crosby's voice was amazing. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. That's Bing Crosby. White Christmas. You just missed two.
Okay.
You got two more. Are you trying to see who he is?
No, I was talking to my son who's in here having a whole conversation on the phone. Live.
Hilarious. Miracle on 34th Street centers on what real life department store?
Amazing.
Huh? What'd you say?
Amazing.
Yes.
Because I've seen that.
But look, I threw in Dillard's, like that wasn't even made at that time.
Right.
Last one, what beverage company has been using Santa Claus in its advertising since 1931? Was it Pepsi, Fanta, Coca-Cola, or Sierra Mist?
Sierra Mist, a teenager. Coca-Cola. Sierra Mist just got here, didn't she? Yeah, she's born.
That is correct.
Yeah.
You're so funny. Thank you so much for joining me. Tell the listeners how they can follow you on social media, as well as get your book. You'll win if you don't quit.
The book, I believe, is still available on Amazon. If not, you can go to my website, yolandamore.com. But on social media, my handle is I am Yolanda Moore on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. So I have a YouTube channel.
Okay.
And on TikTok, it's the Yolanda Moore.
Okay. And guys, you can follow me on Facebook at She Say Sports. On Instagram, She Say Sports 23. And please subscribe to our YouTube page, She Say Sports. Well, that's my show for today. Until next time, this is Sonia, and we will see you next year. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, God bless. Peace.
She say sports. She say sports. She say sports.